Conditions on the lay today, latent heat. That's right, latent. Yes, it's absolutely boiling. Well, it's 20 degrees today. I've just left the shambles that is Shepton Mallet town centre, and I'm off on the walk. I needed to get out the shambles as quickly as possible. Otherwise that could be the metaphor for today's walk. Right, a lot of countryside to walk through. Let's go. The Shambles is a Grade 2 listed monument in Shepton Mallet. Basically it was a butcher's marketplace, and the stalls became to be known as the Shambles, which is a term derived from Middle English for flesh hammels or flesh shells. Nice. Well, let's hope there's some flesh left on my feet today, as I do 5.88 miles and I should do it in 2 hours 34. And it's a gorgeous day. After leaving Shepton Mallet behind us, I'm walking over to Pilton, home of the Glastonbury festival. And my intention today is, after the disaster of not making the St Mary line last week, this is round 2. I'm going to walk from the St Michael line, which I've just left, all the way to the St Mary line. Once in Pilton, I'll visit the St John's Baptist Church, where the St Michael line runs through. I'll be walking across the festival field with a bit of luck and arriving finally at King's Hill, marked on the St Mary line as a significant point. So I presume it's got a good viewpoint there. I will try some resonant grounding and some dowsing. And in addition to that, there's a stone circle on the actual festival site. But for now, this is a beautiful little view behind Pilton from Shepton Mallet. It's absolutely gorgeous. So let's get the admin done. Synchronicities. The first dream, visiting a Norwegian country. It was snowy and I was admiring how they grew trees out of the buildings. Growing root systems going straight out of the buildings in multi-storey things. A bit weird. Maybe a snake connection there. Yeah, thinking about it. The second one, walking around the house, removing all electrical devices, a Wi-Fi or a Bluetooth. And again, that might be already in my inner psyche. I've started to disconnect the router with a frequency at night. Trying to feed into the dreams. Jesus, I've got sweat in my eyes. And then finally, I came across a vicar who was preaching about a path of mashed potatoes. He was on a pilgrimage. At least he wasn't fingering the mash. Synchronicities, although they've not come out on the walks, they've certainly been coming out between the walks. I just want to convey one significant one, put it on the record. I was looking through my photographs and I came across the ones at St Oldham Church in Pilton, and just as I was opening it, I observed one of the carved sculptures on the church, and just at the exact point I had the thought about the sculpture on the church with no head, he said, we'll walk to St Oldham's Head.
St Oldham's Head? I'll show you on the old thing there.
Yeah, it was 1 mile away from where they were, near Worth-Matravers. At exactly the point I had it going on in my mind. That was the most significant synchronicity since I started doing these walks. Pilton, just down the bottom of this hill, and over on the other side on that ridge there, that's King's Hill, and that's where the end point of the walk will be today, and the St Mary line runs on that somewhere. Bit hilly, long walk, but well worth it on a day like this. And it is such a beautiful area. I think the experience I'm having on these lines is as the sun comes out, maybe that does influence the resonance of the energy lines or something. Just putting it out there. No better place than in Somerset. I mean, the rest of the year's been shit up until now, so it's about bloody time. Don't swear. Oh, shit. Cows. Oh, I do enjoy a good cow fest. Hopefully, no, I've got to walk through them. Oh God, they're all penned in. Oh Jesus, this isn't safe. Now usually I would walk through a field like this, no bother. There's the electric fence. Now, are they young? Oh no, they look like the female, they might be okay. Walkers do end up getting trampled by cows. So the best thing to do is just act calm, keep talking to yourself. These are females, so they're usually more subdued, full of eating grass. They haven't got any calves to protect at the moment. Oh! But you do have to be assertive with the ladies. That's what I found. Whoa! See? Just be very assertive. Step over the electric wire, Dennis. Thank you. I wasn't worried at any point there. So here we are, Pilton. This is where the energy shifts, all right. This is the heart of Somerset spirituality and all that. And the energy line runs through the church here in Pilton, or the St. Michael line does. And that's where we're going to have our first stop. What I would say is if you do fancy doing dowsing, this is NFG, normal for Glastonbury, so you'll be all right here. Don't worry about what anyone thinks. Just get on with it and do it. Oh, look at this. It's amazing. Right. Let's go and sit on a gravestone or something. Well, maybe a wall. Oh, there's some steps up there. Get the dowsing rods out and give it a bash. Oh. Oh, perfect. I'm that confident I'm going to do it with one hand. Right through the centre. Right there. Do it from the other side. Really easy to pick up. You can feel it in your hands. Okay, I'm going to try something new now. Which way is the energy line flowing? That way. Okay, so if I do it from this side, which way is the energy line flowing? That way. That's the way it's going. Not entirely sure if that's right, but that's what I'm picking up. So I'm dead on the St. Michael line, and I'm going to sit and do some resonant grounding there. Let's have a quick look inside if it's open. I think it is. Ooh. Vicar's got a big organ. That's what she says. Real lead. Poison from birth. More impressive from the outside. That's my deduction. The St Michael line runs through the middle. Dennis walking the energy line. I put YouTube. Hello, if you're a new subscriber from the church. Right through the middle. That's showing where the energy line is. Let's see if I can show me the centre. I want you to go the other way. Is this the centre? Yes. There's no doubt about it. I'm not halfway through, but I think dowsing works. Pilton's over 1,000 years old, supposed to be older than Glastonbury. It was once home to a Benedictine priory. The word Pilton derives from Pilton, settlement near water. Basically, whether it's monks, music or madness of a festival, this place is definitely alive. And I can certainly agree with that. Definitely feel relaxed and grounded when you do your resonant grounding. Dowsability really strong, and as an artefact the church looks nicer from the outside than it does in the inn, but still impressive enough. Hard to imagine that in a couple of months' time all this will be covered in festivities of some description. It's a massive area. I'm walking towards, I'm not entirely sure if this is a proper public footpath. OS Maps has plotted it, but I can't see a footpath on it, but I don't think they mind. Interesting fact, apparently they did douse the pyramid stage to make sure it was on a ley line. What I really should do is probably test that theory and douse it myself. Oh. There we are. Ah. So I'm right in the middle of Worthy Farm now. This is the site of the Glastonbury Festival, as we all know. Originally began in 1970 with a £1 entry fee and a free pint of milk. One thing for sure about this site is that I think with the interaction of thousands and thousands of people all being happy and dancing around, meditating, doing that thing, I think that's what draws in the energy line anyway. So even if it is not on a ley line or whatever you think about that, the pure energy of about 150, 200,000 people? Then I think that certainly does create energy. There's a different feeling here on Glastonbury Festival Day. The myth is that locals say that the land sings even when the festival is finished, that the land still sings. Probably all that dub music vibrating in the ground, innit? Resonating back into. Nothing wrong with that. This is the centre of Worthy Farm. I'm going to try and walk to this stone circle now, created in 1992 by an artist, so it's not really a proper stone circle, but even so, it'd be interesting to see if I could douse there and maybe prove that there is an energy line running through that. Let's give it a go. So whilst we're here and we've got the pyramid stage just in front of us, what we shall do is we'll see if we can find the ley line that is apparently been set upon. So I've got the dowsing rods. Let's just see if I can pick up any kind of energy associated with the pyramid stage. Right here. Oh God, no way. I'll put my dowsing rod in. We'll dowse with one and we'll see if we arrive at the same place. Okay, so what we're looking for is an energy line that runs through the pyramid stage. Show me where that is. Right there. Right below is where the other rod is. And that is right through the centre of the pyramid stage. So there you go it. Proof maybe that energy runs right the way through the pyramid stage. And there's no one here yet. So imagine when you've got all them people dancing around and enjoying themselves, imagine the energy that's associated with it. Bet the cows are happy here, aren't they? Yeah, I bet the cows are really happy. Good milk, big udders. Here we have it. The stone circles at Glastonbury, constructed in 1992 by Ivan Macbeth. Apparently the stone was quarried from the nearby Tor Works on the Mendips, I imagine. Apparently this is where the festival starts. Some kind of ceremony, I think, at the beginning. But I'll get the dowsing rods out and let's have a quick spin, so to speak. That's the centre. Unless it's some kind of crop circle. It's not, is it? It's a mud circle. I mean, these stones were inaugurated on the night vigil of Midsummer's Eve by the Glastonbury Order of Druids, would you believe? And the sun rose directly over the Swan's Head. So I'm presuming this is a Swan's Head because that feels like where a ley line would go. So it turns out that there wasn't any dowsing to locate the ley line here, and it's supposedly connection with Stonehenge. So the ley line is supposedly going towards Stonehenge. Maybe it goes in that direction. But what I'll do is I'll just dowse in that direction across there to see if there is an energy line that comes in. One thing I have picked up is that centre spot there is like a node. They call it a node, where there's a collection of energy in one spot. The rods go particularly wild in that bit. So I'll just show you that. See if it, well, let's see if it works again. How consistent can I be? Yeah, they cross right at that point. When I do my dowsing, I look for an energy lines and ask them to go out. If they go in, that's when there's like an energy line right under my feet. You see the rod move? Yeah, so definitely. Right, let's see if we can find a line. I'll go on the outer edge. Ah, well, I don't know what to make of it. One thing I would say, perhaps the circle itself is the generation of the energy rather than a line coming through from Stonehenge. I think that's what I'm going to conclude. There's enough energy on its own here, and it's acting like what they call a node. So it's the pulling in of energy. Fascinating stuff. King's Hill. And I'm going to walk around a bit, just around it being that tree somewhere. But it does give me a point of reference. That's the important thing. Have an idea where the St Mary line actually is. I mean, I have got my own map with my very heavy felt markers. We'll get that out in a while. The end of this walk now, I've walked 7.65 miles and I did it in 3 hours 26. Considering I've got 7.5 miles to walk back, puts me about 15 miles today. But I feel energetic, energised from the energy lines. Well, find the Mary line first. Okay, so this is the road, King's Hill. So as we can see, with the fat marker, and then we're up here where King's Hill is. My line is slightly off, but it is a thick marker. And I did it by hand by copying. In amongst the wild garlic. Beautiful. Oh, that wasn't dog piss. And I have had a twinge of the St Mary line, but I have to say, I think I've already walked past one spot and I haven't picked it up. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time here and see if I can pick up an energy line of some description. Here, right here. And there's a hedge there. The line crosses where that hedge is in the intersection. So perhaps the Mary line is here, and I can find it, obviously. Let's try it the other way. Yeah, right there, definitely. Once a lookout, maybe even a burial site. Nobody knows why it was named after a king, possibly some Saxon or Celtic history there. King's Hill, fitting place to finish, I think. I'm starting to believe some of this stuff. The ancients stood on these hills, maybe grounded in some way. They always say that the ancients knew about these energy lines in the past. But, you know, one day they may have well stood on these hills and they were grounded in the same way as I've been today. This here, not that it's pretty spectacular looking, but the line should run right the way through it. So for the final time today, I'm going to do some resonant grounding, and I'll do a bit more dowsing just to see. St Mary line dowsing. I am picking up a line, I believe there. That is the direction, I think, through that hedge line that I was just on the road before. Not as convinced by the Mary line. There is something, but I do need to spend more time on the St Mary energy line. It seems a bit weaker, if I'm honest. Synchronicities. Again, not really had any synchronicities. Continue exploring and maybe report back on other synchronicities that happen between the walks. Dowsability. Well, I've had a very successful day. Dowsability today. They are very strong on the St Michael line. And we have found the St Mary line. I enjoyed myself in the middle of that stone circle, that's for sure. So dowsability has been great. Resonant grounding has also been great. I've had some really nice peaceful stops, especially in the Pilton church, St John the Baptist church. And right in the middle of Worthy Farm as well. It was very nice to have lunch there. It's been a really positive day. I have to say, this area in the summer, you can't beat it. So I think I'll call it a day. And if you're out to play, don't forget, get on a lay. It's getting better.